Hello everybody, welcome back to Let's Play Danganronpa Trigger Happy Havoc. Last time we completed our investigation into the murder of Sayaka Maizono, and today we're getting ready to do the trial. Will we find out who killed her? Well, I mean, we kind of have to, otherwise everybody dies, so yeah, well, everybody except the killer, so we're gonna try and stop that. Yeah. And yeah, I believe I actually did set my... Oh, I didn't set the skill? I didn't save? Okay. Well, fine. Might as well go back in and set my skill. Melodious voice. Increases damage to the opponent when a statement is destroyed. Effective during the bullet time battle. Yes, indeed. Might as well go over the evidence one more time. We have the Monokuma file that states, like, the state that Sayaka was in when she was killed, along with the time of death around 1:30 a.m. in Makoto's room. There was evidence of a struggle. The replica sword was removed from its sheath, both of which were on the ground. And the replica sword sheath had sword marks, or not sword marks, slash marks on it. We have the fact that Makoto and Sayaka switched rooms. Makoto's toolkit was left intact, and his room was surprisingly clean aside from all of that. Sayaka's wrist was broken and she had blood on her fingertips. She left a dying message, which was a number. 11037, I think? Bathroom door frame. Wow, I peeked the mic on that. Bathroom door frame. Makoto's bathroom door was difficult to open. Then the doorknob was unscrewed. The nameplates were switched on the doors. A knife was missing from the kitchen. We have Hina's account, where she was stationed in the kitchen all night because she needed something to drink. Well, not all night, but, you know, she just wanted to get some tea. You know, that was all. And she didn't notice anything fishy going on then. Trash duty. What's Fat Boy's name? Hifumi. He was on trash duty, so yeah. Like, only... Okay. Concerning trash duty, only one person has access to the trash room at any given time. Probably to avoid, you know, people constantly throwing away evidence. The incinerator was turned on even though Hifumi swore it wasn't on when he first went into the trash room. There was a burnt shirt piece found next to the incinerator and a shattered crystal ball. Okay, we're all good. Let's go.
Let's begin with a basic explanation of the class trial. So, your votes will determine the results.
I'm actually looking forward to this because I've never played this on mean action and mean logic. So I'm just curious to see, like, what changes.
If you can figure out who done it, then only they will receive punishment. But if you pick the wrong one...
Either way, it's still first trial, so I mean, it's not going to be too difficult.
I'll punish everyone besides the blackened, and the one that deceived everyone else will graduate.
And the killer really is one of us, right?
Of course!
Okay then, everyone close your eyes, and whoever did it, raise your hand.
I love how he thinks that's going to work. Plus, if everyone's eyes are closed, how will you know?
Don't be a goddamn idiot. Why the hell would they raise their hand?
Before we move on and start the trial, can I ask a question real quick? What's going on with those pictures?
I'd feel awful if they got left out just because they died. Friendship penetrates even death's barrier.
He's thoughtful. You gotta respect that.
Friendship penetrates?
I hate you so much, Hifumi.
Okay, but what about that other empty seat? There were only 15 of us to begin with, so why are there 16 seats?
Oh, no reason. It's just that our little courtroom here can technically fit up to 16 people.
Yeah, you know, you gotta keep those even-numbered polygons. The odd-numbered polygons are never good. I mean, what? Oh, triangles? Pentagons? Who gives a crap about those? No, we need, you know, the quadrilaterals and the octagons and hexagons and the dodecahedrons. That's wait, no, dodecahedron is 3D. The dodecagon? That's the 12 polygon? thing? Let's just go.
Okay, that about does it for the preamble. Get ready to get started. First up is the case summary. Now, let the class trial begin.
It's about to begin. The debate to decide who we think the killer is. Anything I found, anything I noticed, I have to be ready to speak up about everything. Because this just isn't about me. Everyone's lives are on the line. Your first non-stop debate is about to begin. Would you like to hear more? Might as well, just for the people at home. As things progress during each class trial, you will engage in a number of non-stop debates. During these discussions, characters will speak one after another without pause. It's up to you to unearth any lies or contradictions buried within their statements. What this means is that you'll have to use your truth bullets to refute what they say. Any relevant truth bullets you found during your investigation will be loaded into the truth cylinder. Use the left stick to aim, then fire with the triangle button. Pay close attention to each character's statements, and use your truth bullets to blast the right ones. Note that if you run out of time, you'll automatically fail, so please be careful. If you press the options button during these arguments, you can review the controls. Well then, good luck, and have fun! They're so nice with the tutorials, I like that. Alright, and we only have one truth bullet for now, but well, we're about to see, this in action now.
I assert that the one who was murdered was Miss Sayaka Maizono.
Well, duh.
We know that part already.
And the murder took place in Makoto's room.
In the bathroom. So it seems most likely that the killer must have taken her by surprise while she was in the bathroom. She didn't even have a chance to resist.
No, that's wrong.
No, that's wrong.
Yeah, you just want to wait for the, weak point and, just hit that with your evidence.
Just a second, Chihiro. Try to remember how my room looked.
And I tend to let the non-stop debate sections play through once because, A, that gives you a chance to really examine everything and, make sure that you're targeting the right weak point. And B, sometimes you get fun little dialogue options in there. And it's just fun to see that take place. Not to mention, after one plays, Makoto himself will sort of try to piece things together. Wait a minute, what that person said didn't make sense. I'm gonna have to listen to that again, trying to guide you in the right direction. But alright, just a second here. Oh, wait, no. They talked during the trials. I don't have to read that. Okay.
With the way things have been damaged, I think we can definitely assume there was a struggle.
A struggle? Between who and who?
Between Sayaka and the killer, of course.
So you're saying Sayaka wasn't caught by surprise in the bathroom? She must have been attacked in the main room first. Then, she ran to the bathroom to try and hide. The killer followed her in, and that's where they finished the job.
That much should have been obvious after taking one look at the scene. It shouldn't even need explaining.
He is right.
Sorry.
Okay, so what's next?
Next is the subject of the murder weapon.
Wow, this is starting to sound like a real trial.
Probably because it is. We need to determine what was used to kill Sayaka. That is obvious. The frickin' Monokuma file states it. But hey, fine, whatever, we need to learn. We need to take baby steps
So
here.
what was used to kill her?
There was some kind of sharp object thrust into her stomach. Without a doubt, that is the murder weapon.
So the killer used some random knife they had on him. How could anyone do something like that? That son of a bitch!
And yeah, it's still the tutorial, like I said. Well, not tutorial, but first trial. So there's only one weak point that you have to target. So, I mean, they make this pretty simple for you. Hold on, I feel what I just heard is different from what I already know. Yeah, because it wasn't some random knife. Oh, and also, I mean, yeah, that time limit is really, what's the word I'm looking for here? Accommodating, with lack of a better term. You don't really have to worry too much about ever running out of time during a trial. They give you more than enough time as necessary, especially on the easier difficulties.
I do think it was a knife, but not just any knife. I'm almost positive it was a kitchen knife.
Huh? A kitchen knife?
After the murder, we discovered that one of the knives from the kitchen was missing.
Which means that knife must be the murder weapon.
Oh, yeah. I guess that makes sense. You could sort of see the weapon sticking out of her stomach.
I know, right?
And if you look real close, I could totally see that being a kitchen knife.
You don't even need to look close.
Okay, so the murder weapon was a kitchen knife, but where does that get us? I mean, we all know Makoto killed her, right?
Whoa, now.
Right.
Don't jump to conclusions.
Makoto's room was the scene of the crime. What more proof do you need?
Wow, like...
Hold on a second.
Let's draw our conclusions after we presented our arguments. Otherwise, what's the point of the trial?
I know, right? Like, what if the murder happened in the kitchen? Like, oh, well, it happened in the kitchen, so that means the chef was the murderer all along. Like, come on now.
Well, we can talk all we want. It's not going to change that conclusion.
I don't think that's true at all. I'm sure if we keep at it, something new will reveal itself.
You really believe that?
She's right. There's got to be a breakthrough somewhere just waiting for us to find it. Because I know damn well I'm not the killer. There's a bit more to learn about non-stop debates. Would you like to hear more? Absolutely. You can concentrate by holding down the R1 button. While your concentrating time will slow down so you can pay closer attention to what everyone's saying. On top of that, it'll steady your aim, making it easier to target potential weak spots. Concentrating like this consumes the focus gauge, and if this gauge empties, you can't concentrate. But the focus gauge will recover over time, so let your brain take a rest. No need to rush. Well then, good luck and have fun. As much as I do want to show that off for LP purposes, I won't for this trial, because there is a trophy for not using concentrate during the entire trial, so yeah.
But where does that get us?
Makoto must have taken it from the kitchen, right? He did it in secret when nobody was in the dining hall. And then he went and stabbed Sayaka with it.
So he really did do it.
Yes, and it's been decided. We've reached the end.
No, not really. We still got 4 minutes and 30 seconds. I didn't take the kitchen knife, but no matter how many times I repeat myself, you won't believe me. If only there were proof. Oh, but another thing during these little non-stop debate segments, you can hold down circle to speed up, so you can get back to the point where you want to attack.
No, it's wrong. Okay, wait. Hold on. I didn't take the knife from the kitchen.
Next, you're gonna say you're not the killer, right? Go ahead and say it all you want.
Well, what if I have a witness?
Ooh, that's right.
What do you think, Hina?
Huh?
Remember what you were telling me earlier?
Well, I went to go get some tea from the kitchen last night and all the knives were still there. But when I finished my tea and went back into the kitchen to wash my glass, one of the knives was gone. So you're saying the knife disappeared while you were drinking your tea in the dining hall? Yeah.
Just to be perfectly clear, the knife disappeared while you were in the dining hall, correct?
Yeah, that's right.
And at any point while you were there, did you ever see me come into the dining hall?
No, I don't think so.
You don't sound too sure there. I mean, it hasn't even been 24 hours yet, Hina.
You don't think so?
No, he definitely wasn't there.
The knife disappeared while Hina was in the dining hall, but I wasn't there the entire time. In other words, there's no way I could have taken the knife.
Okay, then what about this? What if the idiot swimmer girl and Makoto are in on it together, and lying to protect each other?
Wow, idiot swimmer girl, that was uncalled for. How dare you talk to best girl like that?
Swimmer girl?
I know, right? Rude.
And more importantly, why would I get involved in something like that?
Speaking of which, I'd like to ask the bear, if there is an accomplice, do they also become blackened?
So you ask, and so I shall answer. Each murder is allowed to have an accomplice, but only the one who does the killing will get to graduate.
That's kind of a messed up rule, but I guess it does need to be the case.
So in other words, two people can work together, but one of them has no chance of profiting from it.
Then there's no way anyone would work together, right?
Right.
But what if they did work together and they just didn't know about the rule?
Ugh, good grief! Enough already! No, okay? There are no accomplices in this case!
I love when he just gets frustrated and just wants things to move along, so he'll just be like, okay, you know what? No, this didn't happen, and neither did this. This happened, okay? Now go on with the freaking trial.
Oops. Did I say that out loud?
You gotta love Monokuma.
I didn't go to the dining hall, and I didn't take the knife. So I'm not the killer.
Okay, so then, who did take the knife?
Hina seems the obvious candidate. After all, she just said she was in the dining hall.
No way! I swear it wasn't me!
Sure, but can you or anyone else prove that? I can.
That's right. Sakura was with me the entire time I was drinking my tea.
You could have told that to Makoto a lot earlier, I'm just saying.
I hate to have to ask, but just to be sure, Sakura's...
Me.
Right.
But then, couldn't either one of them have grabbed the knife?
Actually, no. Because, well...
Just spit it out already.
I stayed in Hina's room last night.
I got so scared thanks to those creepy videos. I wasn't really thinking, I just asked her to stay over. Which means we have airtight alibis.
So they shared a room, huh? Okay.
You stayed over? Doesn't that violate one of the school regulations?
We're not allowed to sleep anywhere but the dorms. But it doesn't say we have to stay in our assigned room. So, I don't think that's a problem.
It is a problem! A boy and a girl spending the night together? It's unwholesome!
You're just digging your own grave, Taka. I can't help you with this one, dog. Can't help you with this one.
But I'm a girl.
You are? Oh my gosh, I'm so sorry!
But if it wasn't either of you, then what other possibility is there?
Actually, there is one other possibility. Right, Hina?
Oh, yeah, that's true. One other person did come to the dining hall while we were there.
Why didn't you say so in the first place?
I know, right?
Well, because they're not here anymore.
Someone who's not here? Are you talking about...
Sayaka. She's the one who came to the dining hall. And then later, she wound up dead.
Sayaka? Okay, so the person who took the knife from the kitchen was... Okay, well, we have determined it wasn't Hina. Technically, it could have been Monokuma because, you know, he can kind of go anywhere he wants, but no, we're left to believe that it was, in fact, Sayaka.
I got it! Then, Sayaka is the one who took the knife?
That's the only possibility. And thinking back on it, she was acting kind of unusual. When she came into the dining hall, she didn't even look at us. She just went straight to the kitchen. As she left, she said she just wanted a drink of water. But most likely...
The person who took the knife was the victim herself.
I'm sure she just took it for self-defense.
So you're saying the knife she took was then taken from her, and she was killed with it? In that case, you may not have taken the knife, but you still could have killed her.
What?
I know, right? What?
See? He did do it after all.
No, you're wrong.
So, that's how you would twist the argument and send us all off in the wrong direction? You possess a most terrifying talent.
Damn, if I don't do something, they're gonna blame me for the murder. They already are blaming you for the murder. Don't they understand? If they convict me, everyone's gonna die.
Hold on. It's still too early to decide conclusively that Makoto is the killer, wouldn't you say? Because you see, if the room did belong to the killer, then they did something most bewildering. And until we unravel that little mystery, you simply can't declare that he's the killer.
Bewildering? What the hell are you talking about?
Something was missing from the scene of the crime that by all rights should have been there. You know what I'm talking about, don't you?
Your first Hangman's Gambit is about to begin. Would you like to hear more? Absolutely, because I will not be able to explain this well at all. As things advance further in the class trial, the Hangman's Gambit will eventually take place. The point of this is to reveal an important phrase related to the incident in question. You'll have to deduce the phrase from the letters flying around and the letters already known. Complete the phrase by shooting down the flying letters in the right order. Use the left stick to aim, then press the triangle button to shoot the desired letters. If you shoot down the wrong letters, you'll suffer damage to your influence gauge. If this gauge reaches 0 or if you run out of time, you fail. Well then, good luck and have fun. Something that should have been at the scene, but wasn't. That must be the crucial point. You can just figure out what that something is. Alright, so, something that was missing from the scene of the crime. It's a 4-letter word with I as the third letter. I think it's... ah, crap. I forgot you have to, like, hit them multiple times. Yep, it's going to be hair. Because, oh, I can't bring up my evidence menu from here, but like we saw that the lint roller was missing some sheets, and Kyoko was even saying like she was looking for like hair particles, but there was none there. Well, hair particles, hair strands, like neither Makoto's brown hair or Sayaka's black hair. So yeah, H-A-I-R. There we go, hair.
Now I understand.
That actually was kind of mean. It only gave me one letter. Holy crap, this is going to be tough later on.
There wasn't a single hair on the floor.
So, the culprit removed some evidence?
Yes. And if I were the culprit, why would I need to get rid of all the hair in my own room?
He has a point there.
It wouldn't be unusual at all to find my hair at the crime scene if the crime scene is in my room.
The reason all the hair was gone was to remove any trace that Sayaka had ever been there. That makes sense, does it not?
No. If that were the case, they would have had to do something about the body itself, not just her hair.
Right.
Yes, very true, very true.
Okay, then why wasn't there any hair on the ground?
The killer got rid of it all, of course, to remove any trace that they had ever been there.
Then that means...
Precisely. It's simply beyond reason to believe that the room's owner and the killer are one and the same.
Right.
Then Makoto isn't the culprit?
Are you sure we can decide something so important based solely on the absence of some hair?
Oh, well, look over here. We got many, was it Donald Rumsfeld, that his old decrepit ass has said that quote, like, the absence of evidence is not the evidence of absence.
No. There are other reasons that prove why Makoto couldn't have done it.
I would like to hear these reasons.
Do you remember anything remarkable about the bathroom at the scene? Sayaka was attacked in the main room first, then fled into the bathroom, right?
Yeah, then they ran after her, got into the bathroom, and stabbed her.
And how did the killer get into the bathroom? Did they have any trouble with it?
What do you mean?
It's fairly certain that the killer had some trouble getting into the bathroom. There was clear evidence left behind. Do you remember, Makoto?
The killer struggled getting into the bathroom, and the evidence that proves it is, well, it's the fact that the doorknob was broken. Like, why would Makoto have trouble getting into his own bathroom?
I got it! Evidence that the killer had trouble getting into the bathroom. You're talking about the doorknob, right?
Huh? The doorknob? What doorknob?
The doorknob for my bathroom. It was completely broken. See how the top part was unscrewed? And the doorknob's about ready to fall off?
Oh yeah, true. But what does it mean?
In trying to bypass the lock, they ended up nearly removing the entire doorknob. This is another most bewildering act for the room's owner. It proves Makoto is beyond suspicion.
So what? You're saying he wouldn't break the door in his own room?
No, I mean, I wouldn't.
But if the only choice you have is to break it, you break it. There's nothing bewildering about it.
You still don't see? Okay then. Let's take another look at how the incident unfolded. Hopefully that will help you understand.
Kyoko said it was a bewildering act. I almost didn't notice it at first, but is that the key point here? There's a bit more to learn about non-stop debates. Would you like to hear more? Absolutely. From here on out, the number of weak spots will start going up. But no matter how many weak spots, there's essentially only one lie or contradiction in that debate. Emphasis on essentially. Like, there are some instances where there, like, multiple ones can be the case. At least I think there is. I think there is in later trials. And whatever. What I'm trying to say is not all weak spots you see are necessarily false. Use a truth bullet on the wrong one, and not only will you fail to refute what they said, but you'll also lower your trust with everyone, and your influence gauge will take damage. Now, this is important because if your influence gauge reaches 0, you fail. You have to rely on your own logic to determine which weak spots are actually lies or contradictions. Well then, good luck and have fun. Okay, bathroom door frame is still our only truth bullet. Okay, got it. Because the fact that it wasn't flush with the door, so...
Sayaka was first attacked in the main room.
Right, that's true.
She then fled into the bathroom.
Then the killer ran after her. And they got into the bathroom.
At that point, the killer had to try and bust down the door, because Sayaka had locked it.
And finally, the culprit had Sayaka cornered.
To finish the job, they stabbed her with the kitchen knife.
It was you, wasn't it, Makoto? Admit it. We already know the answer.
It's obvious that my bathroom door wouldn't open, but the real reason for that is... yeah, it didn't sit flush. So, this is true. She was first attacked in the main room.
Then the killer ran after her, and they got into the bathroom.
At that point,
This was true too. They did try to bust down the door. But the boys' bathrooms don't have locks.
The reason my bathroom didn't open wasn't because it was locked. After all, the girls' rooms are the only ones with locking bathrooms, right?
Yes, now that you mention it, that is true.
Then why didn't your bathroom door open?
Because it was stuck.
Huh? What are you talking about?
My bathroom door doesn't fit in the frame quite right. Monokuma over there can testify to that.
Yup, true as true can be.
My God, who is your architect?
But you know, you're supposed to be the ultimate lucky student, right? But to have such a cruddy door... that's not lucky at all.
Or you could have just did that just to mess with him. I mean, that could have been like all you're doing. You know, just be like, oh, he thinks he's lucky? Well, I got something for him.
So the reason the door didn't open was just because it was stuck. But the killer didn't know that and assumed it was locked. So they tore apart the doorknob to get in.
Okay, but then why would the killer even think the door was locked in the first place? Everyone should have known you can't lock any of the boys' bathrooms.
The killer could easily make that mistake, thanks to one important detail about the scene of the crime.
One important detail. Something the killer didn't know. For some reason, they were convinced the door was locked, which means the important detail the killer didn't know was that the crime took place in Makoto's room.
I got it!
Not Sayaka's room. I mean, her room was fine and Makoto was sleeping there.
What? Are you saying the culprit didn't even know where he was? That's inconceivable.
And yet, he's absolutely right.
Say what?
Well, to be more specific, what the killer didn't know was that Makoto and Sayaka had switched rooms, which is what led to the misunderstanding about the bathroom. If Sayaka had been in her own room, then
there would have been a lock on the door, and they would have had to break through.
So they had no idea how unnecessary their actions were.
Ultimately, we can't know if it came open by force or simply by accident. But the killer must have been considerably confused, with no idea how they actually got the door opened.
Regardless, it was a pointless act. Wasting time trying to break down a door that wasn't locked is...
definitely something I wouldn't do, since I would have known exactly why it wasn't opening, right?
You have a point there.
That is a definite possibility.
So the killer would have to be someone who didn't know they'd switched rooms?
Then Makoto couldn't have done it.
That's what I've been trying to tell you.
Okay, then who did do it?
I'm sorry, but I give up. Quit without saving.
You're not funny, Hifumi.
But what happens if we can't decide on who we think did it?
Well, why don't we just vote right now? Majority rules.
This is not a democracy, Taka. Lives are at stake here.
Majority rules? You really think that's a good idea?
Yeah, our necks are on the line here. Someone seriously needs to do something. For serious.
Does no one have any other thoughts or questions? It does not matter how trivial they may seem.
Oh, as a matter of fact, I do have one question.
Oh, you...
You don't gotta sound so disappointed.
It's fine, it's fine. Just ask your question.
Oh yeah. Okay, so, well, I was just wondering, how did the culprit get into Makoto's room in the first place?
Yes. How did the killer get inside?
Maybe Sayaka just dropped the key somewhere and the culprit picked it up. That's possible, right?
I don't think so. That seems way too convenient.
Then maybe someone picked the lock?
Negative! If you remember, Monokuma made it quite clear that the locks are all unpickable.
Fine. How about this? The killer got in the easy way. They could have knocked and said they wanted to talk or something, and Miss Maizono just let him in.
No, that can't be it either.
Oh, trying to argue against me? Sounds like someone doesn't know his place. Hello? Why exactly can't that be it?
The reason there's no way Sayaka invited her killer into the room. I already have the answer. What is the answer? Wait, I have to present like the actual act of switching rooms? Because... Wait. No, because they, like, he told her not to let anyone in no matter what. But what is that related to here? Okay, I'm gonna be so mad if I take damage on this, but... Yeah, I mean... Makoto's room key was found in Makoto's room. I mean, when they agreed to change rooms... and she became frightened. Yeah, I mean, there's nothing else I can present that...
I got it!
Okay, cool.
Because Sayaka was already scared, remember? That's why she asked me to switch rooms.
Oh, that's the logic they're using, that she was already frightened, so she wasn't going to let other people in. Yeah, the same goes for you, Sayaka. No matter who it is, don't open your door for anyone. Even if I'm sure it's you, I absolutely won't open it. Otherwise, what's the point of even switching?
Knowing what she'd been through, I just can't believe she would have opened the door for anyone.
What if her being scared was a lie?
Huh? Well, what the hell is that supposed to mean? Why would she lie about something like that?
I know you don't want to consider it, but look at this and tell me. Can you still deny the possibility?
There's something I want to talk to you about. Just us two. In 5 minutes. Come see me in my room. Check the nameplates to make sure you don't get the wrong room, okay?
I found a notepad during my search, and I shaded in the top sheet with a pencil. And these are the words that appear.
Oh man! I've totally seen people do that on detective shows.
I have too. I think that happened on Monk before. God, Monk is a good detective show.
When you write, it can leave an imprint. Sketch over the next sheet of paper, and you can see the words.
And Makoto did mention it looked like his memo pad had been used, but...
When I
yeah.
saw that, I was like, holy crap! I better make sure I rip the paper out before I use it from now on.
You up here planning murders, Hina?
It's a pretty old-fashioned technique, but even the classics can be surprisingly useful sometimes. Oh, and I should also mention, I found the notepad on the desk in Makoto's room. Huh? Which means only someone who had been in Makoto's room before the incident could have written it.
Then either it was Makoto who lived there, or Sayaka who switched rooms for a single night.
So, Makoto, Did you write this?
No, I didn't. But
Of course you didn't. Because the note also bears a perfectly legible signature. Sayaka's signature.
Then that note, Sayaka wrote it?
but why? Why would she write that?
The note was likely her way of getting in touch with a certain someone. She must have slid it under their door to let them know she wanted to meet with them in secret.
If you got an invitation like that from the ultimate pop sensation, what young man could resist?
I just hate everything about him.
Of course, I'm only into 2D, so it wouldn't have any effect on me.
Everything about him.
But can we be sure anyone even got this note? And honestly, even if they did, I do not think they are at all involved in what happened.
Huh? What makes you say that?
Would you like to hear what I have to say? Very well then. Pay attention.
Okay, the dorm nameplates. Yes, because they were switched.
Sayaka and Makoto switched rooms, correct? But in the note, the place they were asked to come to, it specifically says, my room.
I see. So if someone read that note, then they would have gone to Sayaka's room.
Exactly. The room that Makoto was staying in. So in other words, even if someone did read the note and did what it said, they would not have any connection to what happened.
It certainly would seem that way.
The reason the killer went to my room and not Sayaka's, despite what the note said, it must be because...
Sayaka and Makoto
Okay, so
switched
yeah,
rooms,
it is true that they
correct?
switched
In the note,
rooms.
it specifically says,
And yes, the
my
note
room.
did say my room,
So if someone read that note, then they would
but
have gone to Sayaka.
Exactly. The room
Makoto
that
was not
Makoto-
staying there.
No, that's wrong.
Because in addition to switching rooms, the nameplates have been switched mysteriously.
The nameplates on Mai and Sayaka's rooms got switched.
They got switched?
That's right. The nameplates got switched, just like the rooms themselves.
And obviously, Celeste wouldn't know that because she didn't want to go investigating with everybody else because she didn't want to get dirty.
As a result, the nameplate on Sayaka's room actually had Makoto's name. And the nameplate on Makoto's room had Sayaka's.
So what you're saying is, the room Sayaka was staying in was actually marked as her room.
Then, if someone did do what the note said, they would end up at Makoto's room where Sayaka was.
Plus, their rooms are right next to each other, so switching the nameplates would be no problem. And the one who switched the names was... Well, of course it wasn't you, right, Makoto?
Right?
Okay, then who did it?
There's only one person who could have switched the nameplates. But we know it wasn't you. And the killer didn't know the rooms were switched, so it can only be...
I got it! Me and Sayaka were the only ones who ever knew about us switching rooms. So the only other person besides me who would even know to switch the nameplates was Sayaka.
You can also infer as much from her note.
There's something I want to talk to you about. Just us two in 5 minutes. Come see me in my room. Check the nameplates to make sure you don't get the wrong room, okay? Had to pause in the middle of the trial, and I'm just getting back to this about 5 days later, so, yeah.
She specifically tells the reader to check the nameplate. She would only have written that if she knew the nameplates had been switched.
But why would she switch them in the first place?
She wanted someone to come to the room she was in, and also hide the fact that it was Makoto's room.
What?
Inviting someone to your room, but not telling them you've switched rooms. Why would anyone do that?
To understand that, we first need to understand what happened after she invited the person into the room. That's where the answer lies.
What happened then was probably whoever she invited over came in and attacked her. We figured it out! We know who did it! Whoever she invited over is the culprit!
But we still don't know who it is, you goddamn idiot!
Sayaka fought with her killer there in the room, yes? Perhaps the answer to our previous question lies in that initial struggle.
Yes, I think you're right.
Then... we just have to figure out what happened during the fight, right?
That reminds me. There was a replica sword at the murder scene. Was that perhaps used during the fight?
It's nice to see them all use their brains.
Sayaka suggested I should hold on to it. I thought it might come in handy if I had to defend myself. It seems pretty likely that the killer used it to break Sayaka's right wrist.
How the hell could you possibly know that's what broke her wrist?
The reason I know Sayaka's wrist was broken with the fake sword is because, well, I mean, it's fairly obvious. Well, to us, I mean, to be fair, not everybody did the same amount of investigating that we did, but yeah, Sayaka's right wrist had been fractured and her wrist was glittery at the injury's location. That looks like paint, yo.
All you have to do is take a good look at her broken wrist, and it should become pretty clear. Right there where her wrist is all swollen. There's something glittery there. See?
Is that gold?
It sure is. Specifically, the gold coating from the replica sword. You barely have to touch that stuff, and it'll stick right to you. And there's some on her wrist because...
I got it! Because she got hit with the sword! Right there on her wrist!
Yay! Coming to, like, sensical conclusions. It's real fun.
I see. And so the truth draws ever closer.
You're just
All
useless.
Right. Then it's about time to solve this mystery.
What happened in my room, and what led to Sayaka's death, that's what we need to make clear. There's a bit more to learn about non-stop debates. Would you like to hear more? Yep, so I don't have to explain it. Are you getting used to these non-stop debates? Starting with the next debate, I'll start loading multiple truth bullets into your truth cylinder. But just like with the weak spots, only one of those bullets can actually refute the proper statement. In other words, from here on out, you'll have to combine the right truth bullets with the right weak spots to refute each statement. If you come up with the wrong combination, you'll take damage to your influence gauge. You can press the L1 button to rotate the cylinder and choose which bullet to fire. Press and release the L1 button to cycle through each bullet. Or you can hold down the L1 button and use the left stick to select a specific bullet. By the way, if the logic difficulty is set to kind, fewer bullets will be loaded into the cylinder. For our purposes this time, the logic difficulty will be set to mean. Well then, good luck and have fun. I mean, I have this set to mean regardless, but whatever. Replica sword sheath, kitchen knife set, and replica sword itself. Okay.
When the fighting broke out, the culprit grabbed the sword, and that's when the first blow was dealt. A sword-based sneak attack.
And that's what broke Miss Maizono's wrist.
So, she tried to fight back. She grabbed the kitchen knife she had hidden away.
But then the culprit took that from her too.
And they killed her with it.
And that's exactly what happened.
The sword was used first and then the knife came afterward. Is that really the order of events? At least there's some unexplainable details. Yeah, I'm trying to think myself, too.
When the fighting broke out.
Because let's check. We got the kitchen knife set and the replica sword and the replica sword sheath. Sword handle was missing some of the gold coating as part of the blade. If you're going to attack someone with the sword, you almost certainly remove the sheath first. There was scratching on it. And then the knife set, one of the knives had gone missing.
The culprit grabbed the sword, and that's when the first blow was dealt. A sword-based sneak attack.
Let's break that with the sheath. Because the sword hadn't been pulled out.
Actually, no. I don't think the fight started with the sword.
Yep.
Why not?
Because the sword sheath had been scratched. See? There's a gash in it. Like someone cut into it with something sharp.
Something sharp? You mean like the kitchen knife? That was the only sharp thing found at the scene.
Stop jumping ahead. Slow down and explain it so I get what the hell's going on.
You're not
If
that
the sword
bright,
was used
Mondo, but
first,
it's cool.
There wouldn't be any explanation for the scratch on the sheath. If you were going to attack with the sword, you'd take it out of the sheath first, right?
That's true. With the sheath on, it'd be heavy and bulky and useless as shit.
Okay, so how did the sheath get damaged?
If they got attacked with the kitchen knife, maybe they grabbed the sword as a defensive impulse. In that situation, there wouldn't be any time to actually unsheath the sword.
So you're saying the sword was initially used to defend against an attack from the knife?
Which means whoever had the kitchen knife was the one who attacked first.
I think I get it. So here's how it all played out. The culprit came in, found the kitchen knife hidden there somewhere. Then they took the knife and attacked Sayaka before she knew what was happening. So she grabbed the sword to defend herself. But then the culprit took that from her too. Then, after they broke her wrist with the sword, they took the knife and finished it.
Sorry, but I don't think Sayaka used the sword to defend herself.
What? How the hell can you not think that?
Because she never held the sword at all. There's a certain part of her body that makes this clear.
Yep, the part of her body that shows she never used the sword. Her stomach. But no, her palms, because the gold paint comes off the sword real easily. We saw the gold on her wrist, but not on her palms.
You're talking about her palms, right? The palms of her hands were perfectly clean, so I don't think she ever picked up the sword.
How can you know that just by looking at her palms?
Like I said before, the gold coating on that sword comes right off. All you have to do is touch it.
See?
In fact, if you look, you'll notice that a lot of the gold has already come off the handle. It's safe to assume that's because whoever used the sword got some of it on their hands. There's really no way she could have picked it up and come away completely clean.
Maybe she washed her hands after she escaped into the bathroom.
Oh yeah, because if I'm being attacked, the first thing I'm going to do is wash my hands. No.
Sorry,
What?
but I don't think so.
Thank you.
Why do you say that? Is it because you think I'm ugly?
No, that's not it at all.
There's no way Sayaka washed the gold coating off her hands because... Well, I mean... Yeah, she's afraid of water. Like, oh my god, that... No. But yeah, the water was off because remember, the water in the bathrooms gets shut off every night. Like, well, during nighttime, so yeah.
According to the Monokuma file, Sayaka's time of death was around 1:30 a.m. In other words, at nighttime. And the water in the bathroom shuts off at nighttime, right?
Oh, I didn't know that. Actually, I haven't taken a shower here yet.
It's been like 3 days, 2 or 3 days. You haven't taken a shower, Toko. What?
Oh my.
I know, right?
You're no different. You smell like a big fat ugly donkey.
I'm not sure whether to take that as an insult or a compliment.
An insult, you idiot.
Obviously.
Thank you,
So
Leon.
anyway, if Sayaka never touched the sword, then that means the killer is the only one who used the sword. But hold on. If that's right, then the one who damaged the sheath with the kitchen knife was...
Alright, I was going to try and hold off until like the end of this trial, but yeah, it just needs to be addressed. Music's only half, like not even half full, and it's like drowning out the voices. Yeah, this is fine. Yeah, we'll stick with this. Yeah, I wanted to at least wait until the end of this like whole chapter to avoid like a change in the audio, but yeah, they're just getting drowned out. It's not good. The one who damaged the sheath would had to have been the one without the sword. Meaning, wait. I can't check the transcript. Alright, the one who damaged the sheath would had to have been the one without the sword. Okay, well, we know Sayaka didn't have the sword because her hands were clean, so that means she damaged the sheet.
Sayaka? She had the kitchen knife?
But we already said that the attack started with...
The person with the knife attacked first, and the sword was used as an impromptu defense.
That's right.
The one who attacked first was...
Han Solo! No.
Sayaka?
Now do you understand? She wasn't a blameless victim in this.
And there's the twist.
No, far from it. It's almost as if she'd been planning to commit a murder of her own.
She tried to draw first blood! What?
Took the knife from the kitchen, then invited the culprit to the room she was staying in. And if it's true that she had the kitchen knife and attacked without provocation...
Indeed. These are all the actions of an assailant.
Which brings up another point. Makoto, Sayaka was the one who suggested you two switch rooms, correct? Maybe the reason she wanted to switch rooms was so that she could pin the crime on you. That is a possibility, is it not?
Sayaka wanted to... on me?
That would also explain why she would switch the nameplates. She wanted to get whoever she had targeted to come to Makoto's room where she was staying. And by committing the murder there, instead of her room, that would implicate Makoto. But for that to work, the target had to be lured out while still keeping the room swap a secret. If the target knew she had switched rooms, they would have become suspicious right away.
So all that's why she switched the names?
But doesn't that plan seem a little risky?
How
For
so?
one thing, even if her plan worked, Mr. Naegi would just tell everyone they'd switched rooms.
I don't know. I'm not sure our soft-hearted Makoto is capable of that kind of cutthroat behavior. I'm sure
Wow.
Sayaka realized the same thing, which is why out of all of us, she asked him to switch rooms.
Dang. Sometimes the truth hurts.
Plus, she was the ultimate pop sensation. A totally forgettable kid. Or a national superstar. Who are you more likely to believe?
Wow, totally forgettable kid? I mean, granted, he's a blank slate anime protagonist, but come on.
Then, you're saying she had this all planned out?
Holy shit!
But in the end, her plan backfired. She launched her attack with the knife, then found herself under attack in turn. That must be when her wrist got broken, and she was forced to drop the knife.
The tables were suddenly turned on her, and she died at the hands of the one she'd planned to murder.
Just hold on! That can't be true! Because...
Hey! You guys have totally derailed the argument. You're being super boring right now. Come on, hurry up and decide who did it.
Well, I mean, they need to iron out all the details, Mana bro.
It'd
Come
be
on.
awful if I had to punish you all just because you ran out of time.
Oh yeah, we gotta decide who we think did it.
Makoto, right now you just need to concentrate on figuring out the answer to this mystery. If we can't uncover who murdered Sayaka, it's over for all of us.
Is it really all over? Obviously, I'm committed to find out who killed her, but what can I do? I mean, as far as clues go, there's nothing left. Or is there? Trash duty, I always account, dying message.
It's easy just to say, hey, decide who did it. But there just aren't any more clues, right?
Very well. Then let's review all the clues we found up to this point one more time.
Do we really have time for all that?
Die! Die!
Where did that come from?
Something!
Oh.
Gonna die!
Alright. Fair enough. Wait, no, hold on. That's right, there is still a clue left that can lead us to who killed her. Sayaka left it behind.
It's easy just
Why,
to say,
it's
hey,
only her
decide who did it.
dying message.
But there just aren't any more clues.
Yeah, no
right?
clues left? No, dog, I disagree.
No, that's wrong. There still might be one clue left. Sayaka's dying message.
Dining. Wait, what did you say?
Dining.
The dying message. She wrote something on the wall behind her, remember? 11037. Written in her own blood. There must be a clue about the killer hidden in there.
Well, before we get too far into that, I need to ask, can we really be sure that Sayaka is the one who wrote it?
There's no question that Sayaka wrote that message, and I can prove it. Okay, well, I was about to go check, but no, it wasn't the wound, it wasn't the right wrist, which was broken, but her left index finger did have blood on it. I just wanted to, like, make absolutely sure, but they disabled that for this. So yeah, left index finger.
Her left index finger had blood on it. That could only be because she used that finger to write the message.
I see. She broke her right wrist during the fight, so she'd have to use her left hand to write.
Sure. I think we can all agree Sayaka wrote it. But still, what the heck do those numbers mean? 11037?
Hey, Chihiro. You're a computer nerd or whatever, right? You should know all about numbers and shit.
Numbers and shit.
No, that's not... Yes, I'm a programmer, but I don't see any kind of meaning in these numbers.
Of course. It's because they're not numbers.
Voice of reason here.
Oh, yeah, it looks like...
Huh? What? What?
No, it's just... look at the numbers, assuming they're not numbers.
Oh my god, clarity from Hifumi? I'm stunned.
These first two, 1-1, look less like two numbers and more like one letter?
Yeah, you can see like the stream or strand of blood that's connecting the two.
Right. The connecting
Yep.
line is barely there, so I assumed it was 1-1, but...
Okay, cat's out of the bag at this point. I was just trying not to even acknowledge this because this makes the trial super trivial. I mean, granted, it doesn't reveal the plot twist in that Sayaka was the assailant, but this flat out just gives it away. Especially if you played like a Phoenix Wright game before this, where they already did like the, you know, using blood to spell out letters thing and the whole like Emma Sky trial and whatnot. But yeah, this is just real simple. And I guess something where like all the difficulty was lost in localization. Like I'm sure this might have been harder for the Japanese version of the game, because obviously like not too many Japanese people are going to be familiar with the Roman alphabet, though I think there are like many schools in Japan that do teach like basic English, but still this is like something that's not going to be too common over there. So yeah, Japanese players might not get this clue as readily as other players might, like international players. So yeah, like it's just real simple. I wasn't trying to bring attention to it. I wasn't trying to like bring it up or anything, but it's painfully obvious. It is just painfully obvious.
Looking at it now, you could also read it as an N.
Whoa, you might have finally just said something worth a shit.
Rude?
Our little gray cells are really getting excited now.
Oh wait, was he referring to Hifumi? Yeah, Hifumi finally did say something that was
But
worth the
even
shit.
if that
Yes.
really is an N037, doesn't make any more sense than before.
Damn it. It's no use. I just... Oh, come on, Makoto. Come on. Come on. Really?
Rotate the image 180 degrees.
Thank you, Kyoko. Huh? Rotate it? I think maybe I see something.
God.
Oh my god. Oh.
Now I see. She wrote down the killer's name.
Huh? You just shot past the clue part and right onto who did it.
So, whose name did she write?
Yeah, you just gotta take this as them being, you know, Japanese students, maybe not being the utmost familiar with English. Well, to be fair, I mean, you wouldn't really think a pop idol. Well, I mean, I guess if she does like international shows, but then by that token, you would think she would be able to understand English to some extent. Toko, you know, author, sold her books internationally. Same thing with Hifumi right there, though. To be fair, he kind of understood like that. Oh wait, that's an actual letter. And Chihiro, when they guided her on the right path, she was able to figure it out too. So okay, I guess it does make some sense. Sayaka's dying message reveals the killer's name. Select someone. Okay, well, we know there's an N in the name, so it's not Hifumi, it's not Toko. Well, I mean, he has an N in his name. Could be you. No N. No N. No N. No N. Okay, well, I don't think she was going to write Asahina. Okay, Mondo. Yeah, there's an N there. No N, no N. She's dead. No N. Dead. And obviously it's not you, so... Yep. Leon Kuwata.
Here's my answer. The key to solving this mystery was simply to rotate the writing 180 degrees.
I mean, even if you don't understand, like, when the game spells out for you that the number is, like, Leon, or, like, when you can't piece that together on your own, all you have to do is just, like, look for the N right there and the number of characters. And, yeah, Mondo's name has an N in it, but it doesn't match the number of characters, so, yeah, therefore you're left with Leon. I am shocked that there's only like 3 characters in this game with an N in their name. That is actually astounding. Huh. Okay.
If you turn the message around, it becomes the letters L-E-O-N. L-E-O-N. Or more accurately, Leon.
And plus, considering he has a... Oh, wait, give me a second here. Oh boy, big things are happening. Got another interview coming up, but alright, back to the game. Yeah, you would think Leon, who has the most westernized name out of anybody here, well, aside from Celeste, he would kind of understand, you know, like the English thing too. But to be fair, he is like the main suspect now, so obviously if he did recognize it, he wouldn't want to bring attention to it either. But... yeah, anyway. What?
What the hell are you talking about? It's just a coincidence.
That's a pretty major coincidence, dog.
It's just a bunch of random squiggles that happen to look like my name.
No, it's not random at all. She wrote that message on the wall behind her as she was leaning up against it. In that position, she couldn't move to write normally, and had to write upside down, as it were. And as a result, when you look at it standing in front of her, it ends up getting flipped. Try it for yourself if you want. Write something sitting like her, and the letters will be inverted.
She's right. I just did it.
That sounds like one hell of a stretch to me. I'm the killer? You can't just go and say shit like that.
If you're not the killer, then why did you try to destroy the evidence?
Huh?
You know what I'm talking about, right, Makoto? The evidence Leon tried to get rid of?
The evidence that Leon tried to get rid of? I know what it was. It's this burnt shirt piece. Fairly obvious, because, I mean, well, A, Leon does wear white shirts, and B, this was next to the incinerator in the trash room. Somebody tried to burn a shirt.
I got it! You mean the burnt shirt piece I found laying on the ground by the incinerator, right?
As the killers stabbed Sayaka, they must have gotten some of her blood on them.
As what would happen when you stab somebody.
And to dispose of the shirt covered in the victim's blood, they threw it into the incinerator.
But one piece burned off and got left behind.
And the killer didn't notice. If they had, they most certainly would have panicked. Isn't that right, Leon?
But is one scrap of fabric enough to conclude that Leon is guilty?
Yeah, I mean, Leon's not the only one wearing a white button-up.
That's right. There are plenty of other people here with shirts like mine.
I mean, yeah, that is a common shirt.
Just one little charred piece. There's no way you can say for sure who it belongs to.
You're right. That alone isn't enough. But there are some other points that may reveal the truth.
Are you finally starting to understand? The answers to all the riddles are right here.
Yeah, this case is like real easy. like, you wouldn't even have to get to the trial for the most part to, like, piece together all the clues to understand what happened. But hey, it's the first trial. It's always going to be, like, the most simple one. Even the first trial for Phoenix Wright was, like, way, way easy. Now, I will admit, like, the later trials in this game, they get ridiculous. Like, not in terms of, like, you know, like, oh, willing suspension of disbelief ridiculous, but I mean, like, you probably will not be able to piece together what happened just based off the clues. You would have to, like, sort of, like, piece everything together, actually hear different accounts and whatnot, and actually get through the trial before you're like, oh, okay, and then this, and then that happened, and then XYZ, and blah, blah, blah. But, yeah. Like, even in the second game, they really switched things up because the first trial was fairly simple and straightforward, but there was, like, a major, major twist in there that will really throw a lot of people off, and oh my god, it's so good. But yeah, the later trials in this game, way more twists and turns, and not, like, the most simple thing in the world.
Yeah, I think so.
The burnt remains of the button-up shirt, which the killer wasn't able to get rid of. There's something about it we need to pay attention to in order to figure out who's responsible. Well, not when, we kind of already know, and, like, not where. Like, we know it was in the trash room, so that only leaves us with how it was disposed.
If we look closely at how the shirt was disposed of, we should be able to figure out who the killer is.
Oh yeah, that's a good point. I think I know what you're gonna say. You can't reach the incinerator without opening the gate in front of the trash room, right? And obviously, you wouldn't be able to hit the switch to turn it on either. You'd need the key to get in, and the one with the key was the person on cleaning duty. So the killer had to be whoever was in charge of taking care of the trash, right?
Interesting.
Yeah, that's you, fat boy. No, that's wrong. There's another way to use the incinerator without being the one on cleaning duty. And that's exactly what proves that Leon is the real killer. I think you guys already know what this is going to be. Burnt shirt piece, incinerator, or shattered crystal ball.
The key to the trash room. Whoever was on cleaning duty must have had it, right?
Yeah, that is true.
The only one who could get to the incinerator was the person in charge of the trash?
And
that is
you'd have to
technically
get
true.
Close to the incinerator in order to destroy the evidence.
Would you though?
Which means the only possible suspect is whoever had the trash room key.
Okay, so the person who would have had the trash room key was... Huh? Me? No!
His screams, though. Okay, is it really impossible to have destroyed evidence without the trash room key? No, I'm sure there was another way. Yeah, like a crystal ball. Let's say if somebody threw it. Yeah, that's true. Break that, yo.
Hold on. I think I know how someone could dispose of the evidence without using the trash room key.
But if you can't get past the gate, you couldn't possibly turn on the incinerator, could you?
Yes, you could. If you used this.
What is it, some kind of glass ball? It's busted to hell.
Actually, it was supposed to be a crystal ball, but,
But how would you use it?
The killer had to use the glass ball in a certain way, which was... Yes, he used it to learn how he could bypass the down gate. No, he threw it.
The killer simply took aim at the incinerator switch and threw the ball through a gap in the gate. All they had to do was hit that switch, and the incinerator would come to life.
Someone threw that through a gap in the gate?
Remember what you said before, Hifumi?
Huh? Someone turned the incinerator on. Very strange. I'm quite certain it was off the last time I was down here. Perhaps it was the work of a fairy.
Hifumi had the key, So the only way the incinerator could have been turned on without his knowledge was because the killer was able to hit the switch without opening the gate. Once they got the incinerator going, all they had to do was ball up the shirt and toss it in.
Hey, come on! What the hell is this?
All you have to do is look at the scene to know that the killer never actually went inside the trash room. The shards of broken glass, the incinerator left running, the piece of shirt that escaped the fire. If the killer had been on cleaning duty, the evidence would have been taken care of much more thoroughly.
Wait, no, just hold on.
But the distance from the gate to the incinerator has to be at least 30 feet, right? The pinpoint accuracy you'd need to throw a glass ball that far and hit something that small. Could someone really do that?
Well, like, not just anyone could do it, but what about a certain ultimate?
That's right! There's no way! It'd be impossible!
Difficult, absolutely. Impossible? I don't think so. Because the killer is...
It wouldn't have been much of a challenge at all for the killer because he's the ultimate clairvoyant. No, it's the ultimate baseball star. Come on, 30 feet? I mean, hey, you know, isn't that roughly how far it is from home plate to the pitcher's mound?
I got it!
Oh no, I'm not on the up and up
Killer
on
is
baseball.
the
It's not my
baseball
sport.
Star. Isn't that right, Leon?
Do you
Ooh,
have any idea
sass.
how stupid you sound right now?
A target 30 feet away would surely be little challenge for the ultimate baseball star.
You can't be serious. I'm not the killer! These goddamn shipper brains have got it all wrong, I'm telling you!
You still won't admit it? Okay then.
I mean, somebody's getting a little defensive there.
Go ahead and review the incident one more time to make his crime perfectly clear. And with that, we can end this.
Why me? Oh yeah, because I'm the protagonist.
What the hell do you mean, end this?
Say what you want, Leon. But all the questions have been answered, and the truth has been revealed. Now here's what happened.
The closing argument is about to begin. Would you like to hear more? Absolutely. Every case has one last element to bring the class trial to an end. This is the closing argument. In this phase, you'll give a complete summary of the case. You have to reproduce the flow of events for the case in the form of a comic book. This is a real neat thing. However, you'll notice that in the comic, there are a number of pieces missing. It's up to you to complete the comic using the provided truth panels. Also, if you take aim at a missing section and press the X button, holy cow, you'll get a hint that might lead to a breakthrough. Well then, good luck and have fun. Alrighty then, we got 10 minutes. That is more than enough time. Okay, my room was the scene of the crime. The incident began when the killer entered. So the killer entered the room. Well, I guess it could be. Yeah, because I guess you could say that, but that's not necessarily the dorm room. This, we see the actual, like, portrait on the door. She had the knife. Okay. She tried to stab, missed. First when Sayaka attacked the killer with a knife, they noticed something in my room. Okay. They saw the sword. Right? I mean... Oh yeah, they had to block the attack. Yeah. That happened, and then they used that object to deflect Sayaka's attack, which is... Oh. Well, I guess we can put that there. And what? Oh! I don't know why I looked at that as being like, oh, they had the sword strapped to their back. No. The Ultimate Swords person is not in this game. What am I even talking about? Okay, so yeah, they used that to defend themselves, broke her wrist. After the killer countered Sayaka's attack with an attack of their own, what did they do next? Oh my god, I need to get used to this. Okay. What did they do next? Well, I guess they unsheathed the sword and closed in on her. But then she ran into the bathroom to hide. Killer was upset or shocked, tried to open the door. She had it well, yeah, her back to it so they couldn't get in. She's scared. They forced the bathroom door open. The only logical way they could have done that was with a screwdriver. Because they didn't know that it was a boys' restroom and there was no lock. Went in, had the knife looking all creepy and junk. The point where she got stabbed. After she was stabbed, Sayaka used the last of her strength to leave something behind and just make sure. Oh no, we still got more acts after this. Okay, this is still act 2. So yeah, she left a little dying message behind. Dang, there's a lot of blood. Alright, so, yeah. Killer then had to go through the motions to make it like they were never there to begin with. The killer used an item in my room to help dispose of evidence. The lint roller, because, you know, red hair. Yeah, Leon is the only one here with red hair. Huh. So yeah, it would have been a dead giveaway. Well, Mondo, no, his hair is sort of like more brunette-ish. Or brunette, not brunette-ish. Okay. Yeah. Use the lint roller, clean up all that lint. Went to the trash room, Act 4. What did I do? The object the killer threw to activate the incinerator must have been a crystal ball that they picked up from the laundry room. Just making sure, okay. Yeah, that's that Samurai Champloo Mugen pitch right there. The baseball episode of that anime was so good. It was just excellent. Then yeah, turned on the incinerator but destroyed the crystal ball. It was on. So they tied it up. Well, yeah, tied the shirt into a knot and threw that as well. And yeah, it was burning. They left. However, they left a little something behind.
The killer is you! I think I'd better take one more look back at the case from the beginning.
I love these little sequences, by the way, especially when the title music plays. It's so good.
Last night, the killer went to the room Sayaka was in. In other words, my room. From what we can tell, Sayaka invited that person there intending to kill them. She attacked them with the knife she'd taken from the kitchen earlier. But then something happened that she wasn't prepared for. They grabbed the fake sword I put in my room and fought back. During the struggle, a strike from the sword broke Sayaka's right wrist. And that's when she lost her grip on the kitchen knife. Finding herself cornered, Sayaka panicked and ran into the bathroom. The killer went after her, but couldn't get the bathroom door open.
Sorry to break the immersion, but my god, the artists that they got to work on these segments specifically, I just want them to like go on and make their own like manga series or comic series, because they would be so good. This art style is like just excellent. I love it.
What they didn't know was that my bathroom door got stuck easily, and there was a trick to opening it. Sayaka knew about that because I told her, but of course the killer had no way of knowing.
Plus, it kind of matches the art style they were going for in the beta to this game. I'll get more into like what was going on in the beta after this trial.
So instead, the killer forced the door open, took the kitchen knife, and stabbed Sayaka. But with what strength she had remaining, Sayaka left a dying message. To keep the killer from noticing, she wrote it on the wall behind her. And with that, all her strength was gone. With Sayaka dead, the killer quickly began destroying the evidence. First, they took off their shirt, which was covered in their victim's blood. Then they took the lint roller in my room and cleaned up the entire area. They wanted to make sure they got rid of any trace they'd ever been there. Afterwards, the killer headed to the trash room to destroy their bloody shirt. They tried to burn the shirt using the incinerator there, but the trash room was blocked off by an especially sturdy gate, preventing access to the incinerator. So they came up with a plan to use Hiro's crystal ball, which he left in the laundry room. The killer managed to throw the ball through the gap in the gate and hit the incinerator switch. For any normal person, that'd be an impossible throw. But the killer had the confidence to take a shot. And that's because the killer was the ultimate baseball star. The crystal ball, thrown with absolute precision, hit the switch on the incinerator, which then quickly roared to life. Having destroyed the final piece of evidence, they left the area with, I imagine, a sigh of relief. But there was one thing they missed. Part of the shirt they'd thrown into the fire burnt away and fell out of the incinerator. The killer didn't notice this, and so left behind a piece of indisputable evidence.
Though, to be fair, even if he did see that, there would be nothing he could do. Unless he tried to, like, convince Hifumi to open up the gate for him. But that would just raise a lot of suspicion in its own right.
Isn't that right, Leon? It would appear that Hiro simply forgot his crystal ball in the laundry room. You went there to try and wash the blood out of your shirt, and that's where you saw it, right?
But I mean, bloodstains turn orange about 3 or 4 times after you wash it, but that's normal, ain't it, Norman? Ha ha! Eminem lyric.
Seeing the ball, you thought of a way to take care of everything.
Yeah, they would have just been wondering, like, wow, you were rocking the white shirts. Why are you wearing an orange shirt now? So, yeah.
So, Leon, do you object to anything that's been said?
Do I object? Hell yes, I object! Of course I do! I object! I object! I object!
That doesn't carry the same force as Edgeworth or Von Karma saying objection. It just doesn't. Just sound like a trapped animal, or like just a boxer on the ropes can barely stand up. Like, you're back into a corner, dog.
I mean, all of this is just a bunch of stupid theories. You need evidence. Where's the evidence? Without evidence, it's all bullshit. It's bullshit, and I refuse to acknowledge it.
Well then, I guess this is as good a time as any to present the evidence that proves you did it. Makoto, I believe you're in possession of that evidence.
I have the evidence? Your first bullet time battle is about to begin. Would you like to hear more? Absolutely. This will give me time to think about what the hell she means by I have the evidence. Sometimes during a class trial, your opponent simply won't want to hear what you have to say. Sounds like some people I know in real life. When this happens, you will engage them in a head-to-head battle. We like to refer to this as the bullet time battle, aka the BTB, BT dubs. During the BTB, you want to destroy your opponent's statements in time with the rhythm. Make your button presses with each... match your button presses with each tempo marker as they move across the screen and reach the center. Yay, it's a rhythm game. I'm good at these. Press the X button to lock onto an opponent's statement. Destroy the statement you locked on with the triangle button as the tempo marker reaches the center. Like, it's hard to gauge what they mean with this little tutorial here, but in action, it actually becomes a bit more, like, sensical. You essentially want to tap X to the rhythm to latch onto their statements, and then press triangle also in time with the rhythm to destroy them all. So it's like you're essentially just shooting at them, you know, staying with the whole, like, gun thing that this game has going on for it. But, like, you're not actually, like, aiming, you're just auto-targeting each one, in a sense, if that makes sense. Use the method to deal damage to your opponent. If you can't pull it off, you'll be the one in pain. Do this consecutively and you'll start a combo. Keep this going, you'll initiate a tempo up. On the flip side, if you keep missing, you'll get a tempo down situation. And that sort of functions like the bit trip games in a sense. Tempo up is good. That means you're dealing like more damage to them. You got a combo going. However, the music also gets a bit faster, but the damage you deal during that situation deals more damage to them. Just like in a tempo up situation in the bit trip games, you're getting more points. Tempo down, things are moving a bit slower. Just like in the bit trip games, if you got into a tempo down section or situation, or I think it's called negative zone. I don't know. It's been forever since I played a bit trip game, but yeah, when that happens, you would lose more points and you would essentially be like close to death. So that kind of applies here as well. Like in a tempo down situation, you're not doing so hot and you might end up taking way more damage than you would like, and you could ultimately fail. So you don't want to do that. When the tempo changes, so does the timing for each hit. Oh my god, for hitting each button. So watch out for that. Deal enough damage to your opponent and their weak spot statement will appear. At that point, you can press the triangle button to shoot it down with a truth bullet like any other statement. Refute their statement fast enough and you'll come out victorious. But just like before, if your influence gauge reaches 0 or you run out of time, you fail. The time limit is actually pretty, what's the word I'm looking for here? Forgiving, lack of a better term. Anyway, well then, good luck and have fun.
When the killer broke the bathroom doorknob, they didn't use anything from your room to do it. So what did the killer use?
What did the killer use to take apart the doorknob?
I refuse to acknowledge you. You're stupid. Stupid, stupid, stupid.
Wow. Nice insult there, dude.
Stupid, 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 stupid.
I have to show indisputable evidence that Leon is the killer. I need to figure it out. But he won't listen, so we're gonna have to break him down. The moment of truth.
Where's your proof? You kidding me? Not a chance. It wasn't me. Stupid. You lie.
I'm sorry, I just have to focus.
Shut up. Where's your proof? You kidding me? Not a chance. You lie. Where's your proof? You kidding me? Not a chance. It wasn't me. Stupid. You lie. Shut up. Where's your proof? You kidding me? Not a chance. You lie.
Wait, it goes up even more? Okay, wow, I was taken aback by that one.
Where's your proof?
Well, it's the toolkit. Every guy has one. But because Makoto's wasn't open, doesn't mean that one wasn't
Screws
used.
on the bathroom doorknob were removed. I wonder what kind of tool the killer used to remove that.
I mean, it had to be a screwdriver, right?
Oh yeah, I'm pretty sure the toolkits we got each had one inside.
And that must be what he used. There aren't any other tools anywhere.
But the toolkit in my room had clearly never been used.
That's because the culprit didn't know it was your room. They thought they were in Sayaka's room.
Only the boys got toolkits, so the killer naturally assumed there wouldn't be one in there.
Okay, then whose toolkit did the killer use?
Stupid, stupid, stupid!
Wow, you alright, Leon?
It had to be their very own toolkit.
Stupid, 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 stupid!
Leon, would you mind showing us your toolkit? If I'm right about this, then the screwdriver will show some evidence of being used.
Or there's also the fact that his toolkit would be open, and Mondo did say, like, yeah, like, none of us guys open our toolkits yet. We didn't have a need to.
Stupid, stupid, stupid!
Huh? And if you say you used it for something else, you'll have to explain exactly when, where, and why.
And let me say this right now. I lost it isn't an excuse at this point.
Stupid. Stupid.
Wow. That's the face of somebody who, kind of had their mind snap.
So, you have no rebuttal?
Then it would seem we are finished here.
All right, and my God, look at that. That's so good. It is the first trial though, so obviously it wasn't the hardest thing in the world. But yeah, we'll continue on after this. Just quick little thing here. Like the demo for this game, you also went through like the first investigation and first trial in the demo. However, to avoid spoilers, they changed things around. The first victim was actually Yasuhiro, Weed Boy. But he was killed the same exact way that Sayaka was, like in a bathroom, just stabbed, like with a knife to the stomach. The only thing is, it was still Makoto's bathroom. Yeah. And the culprit for that demo trial was Hifumi. I never played the demo myself. I just go based off of what I've read, and like it was even referenced in the demo for the third game where Yasuhiro isn't even a character in the third game, but for the demo of Danganronpa V3, he was killed in the protagonist's bathroom with a knife to the stomach. And even Monokuma was like, wow, is this like the such and such time he's died already? It's ridiculous. So, yeah. Like, it's just a funny little thing that they keep calling back to. But yeah, Hiro was the person who died in the demo of this game, and Hifumi was the culprit. There was also a beta version of Danganronpa. This was initially going to be a game called Distrust, and there was a beta released for it. I don't know how easily accessible it is, but I hopefully will have screenshots up showing the art style of that game. It looks really neat. Like, it was really cool. But yeah, Distrust soon turned into Danganronpa, and they kept a lot of the characters from that and the basic concept of it being like, a murder mystery type of game with court trials and stuff. Monokuma was also in that game, only he wasn't actually Monokuma. He was like a human that was half real human, half fleshy skeleton. It looked rather creepy. And yeah, for the first trial of that game, Kyoko was the one that was murdered in the protagonist's bathroom, but the killer was still the same. It was Leon. So yeah, they kept the basic concept of the beta, but then changed around like who died. So yeah. But anyway, enough rambling from me. Next time, we're going to see what happens after the trial. Thank you for watching. Have a great day, and see you next time for some more Let's Play Danganronpa Trigger Happy Havoc. Oh, and we get our reward. Mono coins. You get coins based on how well you did during the trial. So, yeah, that's nice. That's how you get a lot of coins. You can spend them all on the Mono machine. But yep, see you all next time. Goodbye.